You want to support Roland Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. Now let's talk about, of course, we always talked about crazy racist cops on this show. Well, guess what? The organization decided to do an extensive look into what these cops are saying on Facebook. A review of the Facebook accounts of thousands of police officers around the country found them endorsing violence against Muslims, women, and criminal defendants. Here's one example. F these Muslim turd goat humpers. Wow. Oh, but we must help them. Yeah, right, when it's okay to rape and murder in a religion. I ain't helping no one. That's, of course, the page there of that particular woman right there. Now, the review was done by the Plan View Project. It was launched by our guest, Philadelphia attorney Emily Baker White. She joins us right now. So, Emily, glad to have you on the show. So, how did this thing originate? Where did the idea come from to say, let's dig a little deeper?
Thank you for having me on the show. So, I first came across troubling content on Facebook posted by police officers when I was an attorney at the Federal Defender's Office in Philadelphia in the Capital Habeas Unit. I was representing individuals on death row who were contesting the validity of their convictions. I was assigned to one case in which I was asked to look into a potential police brutality claim in that case, that there was a lot of police brutality in a given neighborhood that might have affected the outcome of the case. So in doing that, I came across several pages on Facebook that were apparently maintained by police departments in that neighborhood and that had completely public-facing posts on them. I think if there was one post that really spurred me to look deeper, it was a meme that showed a police dog that was being restrained by an officer. The police dog was baring its teeth, and the caption over the picture was, "I hope you run, he likes fast food." I was alarmed by this image. And it was a meme. The officer presumably hadn't made it himself. He got it from somewhere. And what that made me say was, how prevalent is this? How much of this is there on the internet? And that was the question that led me to create the Plainview Project.
So, So how did you begin the research to begin to assemble all of this? And how many police officers did you eventually compile data on?
So the first thing we did was identify. Our plan was to do a sort of deep dive into the departments, into a few departments, right? You can't look at everybody. You can't look at everything.
Right.
We looked at Facebook. You could look at Twitter. You could look at Instagram. But we decided we were going to look at Facebook. We were going to look at a few departments, and we were going to try to find as much information as we could in those departments. So we picked 8 jurisdictions across the United States, some big, some small. The largest was Philadelphia, where I lived at the time. But we also looked in Dallas and Phoenix and St. Louis, among other smaller jurisdictions. And we picked those cities. We obtained the public rosters of all the police officers in each of those places. That's a matter of public record. You can get the lists of police officers in each city. In fact, often it's posted on, we got the Philly ones from the Philly Inquirer. We got, I think, the Dallas ones from a newspaper down there. So we got a list of all the officers in these jurisdictions. Then we went and tried to find Facebook pages that apparently matched those names. Now, there are a lot of people with every name on Facebook. It doesn't matter how uncommon your name is, there are a lot of people with that name on Facebook. So obviously we needed more. We needed something that showed that a person was a law enforcement officer in a certain jurisdiction. And so the most common way that we found that verification was that the person posted police officer at Phoenix Police Department or at Dallas Police Department. And many people do list the police department as their employer. And that was the most common verification that we found. But also there were a lot of people who posted pictures of themselves in uniform or were having a conversation and said, I've been a, Phoenix cop for 5 years and in my experience, blah, 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 right? So we had to get some affirmative ID from a person saying, I am a police officer in this jurisdiction. We built a list of those people, and then we reviewed all of the public posts that each of those people had made.
Well, what I love about this is, first of all, they can't lie and say it wasn't me. That's the one thing I love about it. And also what it does is exposes them in their own words. Now, you put this out there. What's the next step? Are you asking the departments to take action against them?
So departments are still responding to this information, but the responses that we've gotten from officials in Philadelphia so far have been really good. The Philadelphia Commissioner Ross, among other things, what part of his statement was the line, I don't understand why there's still so much hate in this country today. And that's coming from the Philly police chief, looking at some of the words of his own officers. And when I hear him say that, I believe him, and I think he's taking this problem really seriously.
Well, first of all, it is an amazing job y'all did. Are any plans? You focused on 8 jurisdictions. Last question for you. Are you planning on targeting more jurisdictions?
Not at this moment, but I wouldn't rule anything out.
All right, then. We surely appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Where can people see your full report? Where can they go?
Plainviewproject.org.
Plainviewproject.org. All right, we appreciate it. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you very much.
Joseph, this is, first of all, it's an amazing thing that they did. And what it does is, for all the people who talk about the bad apples.
There's like a whole barrel full of them. I mean, and the thing that kind of drives me crazy about this is, like, number one, this is only 8 jurisdictions, I think she said, like a handful.
8.
This is the tip of the iceberg, right? This is the tip of the iceberg. We don't know how many more cops are out there who are doing sorts of things. Secondly, it folds back into the first story, which is how these guys got convicted in the Central Park 5 in the first place. There was groupthink. There were people who see black men, who see black boys as animals and suspects. This is where it comes from. This is where cops were so willing to believe that 5 guys, 14, 15, 13, who didn't even know each other, were guilty of a crime, and why the prosecutors just pushed and pushed and pushed until they got a conviction. It all ties in together, and it's something that's going to be incredibly hard to eradicate.
And the thing, Avis, is that, again, these are individuals who are dumb enough to say it.
Yeah, I mean, I think what to me is most telling about this is it shows how rotten this culture is to its core, that they would feel comfortable enough to just put this out there in public. Okay, they just put it all out there. Anybody could see it. And they saw no repercussions would come from it. And so they felt comfortable doing it. And I also am not as quite comforted by the Philadelphia police chief's words as the author of this report was, because quite frankly, he should have known.
Yeah.
Well, words are one thing, but
culture.
now what do you do next?
Yeah. I mean,
That's what's key.
Absolutely. And you know the culture of your organization, and if you don't, that's a problem. But he knows. Come on now. He knows.
Eugene? Well, actually, you know what? No, I would dare say, Eugene, folks may not know because they don't properly monitor. And that's the problem I have. And I think what they've exposed is, how in the hell are you not keeping tabs on your own cops? Again, you're sworn to protect and uphold the law, as opposed to beat people, to denigrate people, and say, I'm not going to represent you.
Yeah, I mean, I think there should be special scrutiny when it comes to police officers and law enforcement. I think the next step absolutely probably should be is that you take that 8, you gather the resource to cover 100, 200, 300, maybe 1,000, and then probably expand to the full 4,000 departments that we know about. And then from there, this database has to be searchable. It has to be as accessible for your common defense attorney who has a client that's been brutally abused by the police to be able to run those officers' names and say, boom, here we go. These people have they have the bias and they put it on display. One of the former Baltimore City Central Committee chairman and here he was a lawyer, defense attorney, and he kept the list of corrupt cops and bad cops in his office. And when he would get a client, he would just go back and see who was the arresting officer and match up to that list. And if he matched up to that list, it would just be open shut case for him. And I think that's what you'll probably start seeing if we were to turn this to an actionable, searchable database.
All right, folks.
You can't, real quickly, you can't get hired for a job unless somebody checks your social media, right?
Yeah.
My company has a social media policy. You should not be able to get hired as a police officer unless they check your social media and find out that it's all on the square.
Kind of basic.
Simple.
Yeah.
Kind of basic.
Costs nothing.
Let me give you some word about Linda Fairstein. You know, she was the prosecutor who put away the Central Park 5. She's made a ton of money writing books. Well, guess what? She had to resign earlier this week from Vassar College, as well as another group there in New York. Now she's been stripped of Glamour Magazine's Woman of the Year award, which she got in 1993. They now admit that they were wrong. This all comes on the heels of Ava DuVernay's drama series on Netflix called When They See Us. The petition to call for her to lose her book publishing deals and for Amazon to remove her books has now surpassed 25,000 and maybe as high as 50,000. I'm going to double check in a minute. It's on change.org. And so we certainly shall see what happens. But she should lose everything.
Everything.
Everything. No speeches, no books, no awards, nothing, because she is still walking around saying that those 5 committed the act. And we know that's a doggone lie.
I mean, I'm with you on this Linda Fairstein thing. I mean, she should lose everything. But the question becomes, what happens when Amazon removes her books and then turns around and removes Farrakhan or Jeremiah Wright or your books, right? And then, so I don't know where we're headed, but I'm just concerned because white supremacy never does anything without a plan after the first thing they've done. And that's the thing I'm a little
the First Amendment piece, Greg, is really important. Dr. Carr, is really important for us to understand the First Amendment piece, but the other piece of it is the whole notion of what's happening to our nation and the fact that we are more diverse and that people have to be not tolerant, but accepting of the diversity that we're experiencing.
Well, speaking of diversity, folks, they're lighting up Jeffrey Goldberg. He's the editor-in-chief of the Atlantic magazine. Why? Because he made some comments that dealt with the issue of diversity in journalism. He says that pretty much the people who can write long-form pieces, 10,000-word pieces, exclusively white men. This is a quote. It's really, really hard to write a 10,000-word cover story. There are not a lot of journalists in America who can do it. The journalists in America who do it are almost exclusively white males. Now, some have said that he was trying to make the point that they are trying to fix that. But in fact, I want to pull something. Let me pull this story up because he actually said something else that I thought was interesting, which is really going to be the focus of my commentary on this. Because y'all know I have no problem at all sitting here jacking these folks up because of what they do. And you have to, and remember, y'all, I am in the business of words. I listen to what people have to say, and I go through the whole deal. And so this is actually what he said. We continue to have and actually it was a column he wrote. It was a column he wrote where he took questions from folks, their audience. He said, we continue to have a problem with the print magazine cover stories, with the gender and race issues when it comes to cover story writing. Of the 15 print issues The Atlantic has published since January 2018, 11 had cover stories written by men. Quote, it's really, really hard to write a 10,000-word cover story. There are not a lot of journalists in America who do it. The journalists in America who do it are almost exclusively white males. What I have to do, and I haven't done this enough yet, is again about experience versus potential. You can look at people and be like, well, your experience is writing 1,200 word pieces for the web and you're great at it, so good going. Now let me unpack that. Here's the fun. Now, again, you're looking at somebody who is Vice President Digital for the National Association of Black Journalists, lifetime member, third time being on the board of directors, previously secretary, before that, the National Student Representative. You're talking about somebody who went to a communications high school in Houston. So essentially, I've been doing journalism since I was 14 years old. That is the last 36 and a half years. What I have experienced in 36 and a half years in this industry has been white supremacy. Meaning, if you truly look at that statement, what he is saying that, the people who really can write long 10,000 word pieces, they're white men. Y'all, that's white supremacy. Meaning you think you're better. Now let's unpack that. The reason he's saying that is because if you look at the magazine industry all across the board, who do you largely see? White folks. When Spike Lee did one of his previous movies, he said, I will not do any magazine interviews unless you send a black journalist. All white folks lost their mind, but it forced them to look at their newsrooms. They looked up and went, damn, we don't have anybody to send, because they didn't even acknowledge that it was an all-white newsroom. This is the equivalent of saying, you know what, it'd be great for an African-American to be the CEO of a company, but you know what? Those with the experience to run companies are simply white men. But see, what bothers me is when he talked about this whole issue of, when he said experience versus potential. See, if you are a real editor and you want to fix this problem, and then you have individuals who work at your place who are black, and they've written 1,200-word articles, do you know what you do the next time? You assign them a 4,000-word article. And then when they do a 4,000-word article, you assign them a 7,000 or 8,000-word article. And then when they've done that, you assign them a 10,000-word article. Actually, it's not hard. I've run 3 black newspapers. Every paper I've run, there were some people who were excellent, who were top of the line. But I always knew I couldn't solely depend upon them, because I might need somebody else to write a cover story one day. And so I had to look into the newsroom to say, okay, well, your skill set, and your skill set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a shot to do this here. Let me explain to you what we do here at Roland Martin Unfiltered. My control room is right there. Henry directs the show. Stephanie is sitting next to him. She's a producer. I said, Henry, I need Stephanie cross-trained to actually direct the show. Chelsea, who sits over here, who also the associate producer. She's had to learn how to use the robotic cameras. Atlantis, my niece, who runs tapes, she also had to learn how to use robotic cameras. You know why that's the case? I need everybody to be cross-trained. Every person who works here is going to have to learn to use a Canon XA25, how to use that camera, the Canon XF405 4K camera, how to use it. Why? Because that's what leaders do, Jeffrey. They train up. They coach up. And if you're serious about this, that's exactly what you should do. And stop making excuses. There are black folks who now write for The Atlantic. Yeah. Adam Sir. Yeah. Jamel Hill. Yeah. And others.
Adam Harris.
Are you trying to say to me they don't have the ability to write 10,000-word stories? Right. It is because white men who are in power are comfortable assigning stories to other white men to doing the exact same coverage. It is no different than when you see these folks who are the ones leading the conversations in politics are largely white men. I have been at the table with 2 presidents where they've had the television anchors in the room. And I can tell you, in one of those meetings, before Lester Holt became the NBC Nightly News anchor, who was the only black person sitting in the room? Yours truly. When Lester got the job, guess what? We were there. Under Trump, when they invited some people, Yamiche Alcindor, who's not a television anchor, was there for PBS. It was Lester, me, and Yamiche. I brought Derek McGinty along because I had an open spot. They had 2 for us. Why am I saying that? It's because what black people have always said is, yo, when the hell we gonna get a shot? It's the same thing. If you keep pursuing white supremacy by trying to use experience as the reason why we can't find anybody, that's why you'll never find anybody. Because as long as you say if 11 men wrote cover stories, you're gonna have more men writing because you never actually make the effort. And here's the other piece. If you got somebody who isn't seriously experienced, but they have enough experience, that's why you have good-ass editors to edit their pieces. Y'all, I keep telling y'all, and I need y'all to hear me, why this is the last bastion. This, media. Why? Because media is America's greatest export. The world knows us because of our movies, because of our television shows, because of our newscasts, because of our music. That is what is exported to the world. People learn about America through what they see and hear on the big screen, small screen, now when it comes to digital media, and also when it comes to music as well. And so when Hollywood says, oh, we can't take that black film and they don't do well overseas, they do. You're actually promoting the same nonsense. Because when you say that, that means we're not going to put a black person in the film here because it's not gonna can't take it overseas, so therefore we can't sell it. So the black person never gets to be the lead. So y'all understand how this whole thing goes? This is the game. I keep trying to explain to y'all that. And see, what I also keep trying to explain to y'all, why it's important, why you got to have shows like this and black people running it, because I can do a roll call right now of the black people who have come through my shows, Washington Watch, News One Now, and Roland Martin Unfiltered, who when you turn on cable news, all of a sudden you see them. Paul Butler at MSNBC, Angela Rye at CNN, Shermichael Singleton, when you saw Parrish Denard, when you see David Swertlick, Lauren Coates, when you saw her on Hardball, she was on a panel on Hardball. Whose show does she host? Mine. Hosting ain't the same as a panel. You know what that's called? Opportunity. I saw Lauren said, I think she has host potential. Put her in the chair. Now she has her own show on Sirius XM. But CNN, y'all ain't seeing CNN put her in the host chair. But she can. And guess who says she should host Jeopardy one day after he retires? Alex Trebek. What did Alex Trebek see in Lauren Coates that nobody else saw? Wow. But CNN won't put her in the host chair. Do y'all see where I'm going? Jeffrey Goldberg, do you see where I'm going? If somebody who's in power doesn't decide to change the paradigm and begin to break this whole deal open, then it doesn't change. That's the only reason we support Branch Rickey. Jackie Robinson could always play ball. That's right. Jackie Robinson played ball in the Negro Leagues. By the way, he wasn't the best in the Negro Leagues. So it was no shock he succeeded in Major League Baseball because, hell, we knew he could play. Somebody just simply had to open the damn door, as James Brown said. Just open the door and I get it myself. The reality is, Jeffrey Goldberg, don't sit here and whine and complain about, oh my goodness, there's all these men. No, have the guts. No, have the balls to actually say, I am going to assign a woman the cover story. I am going to assign an African American the cover story. And if anybody in the room has a problem with it, then take it up with me, because that's why it says Editor-in-Chief. Jeffrey, I've run 3 black newspapers and I had total control. I ran BlackAmericaWeb.com. I had total control. I was the host and managing editor of News One Now. I'm the host and managing editor of this show, and I'm the owner. And guess what? I run it. My suggestion to you, learn how to be a damn leader and change the game. Poop or get off the pot.
Oop.
You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. This thing is blown up on social media, almost 7 million views, and it's crazy as white people.
No charcoal grills are allowed.
I'm white. I got you, Carl.
Illegally selling water without a permit
On my property.
Whoa! Hey!
You don't live here.
I'm uncomfortable.
So a white woman wanted a hotel room, and she wasn't too happy with the brother who had answered the phone, and this happened.
But you called me a
Well,
fucking
I need
nigger.
to stay here. My mother died.
I understand that, but you called me a fucking
sorry.
nigger.
I'm
No,
sorry.
you weren't sorry when you said it on the phone.
Listen, there was
No,
people screaming
but
at home.
at the end of the day,
I
and
need
the
a
climate that we live in today's
I said
society,
I was sorry.
I understand that, but it's above me now.
I need a room tonight.
Well, there's the Best Western next door.
No, please, let me hear. My daughter's here.
I'm sorry, but I mean, I was on the phone when you said it.
I said I'm sorry. Please, I've had a horrible day
And I had a
today.
horrible time when hearing that.
He won't let me in.
It's above me. She called me a fucking nigger.
Sir, my grandma just
I
died.
understand that, but it's above me.
Please let me.
It's above me. Sorry.
I got my
The
credit
Best
card.
Western is next door.
Sir, the rest of our family
I
is
understand
here.
that, but it's above me.
Please. I
She
apologize.
said what she said.
I understand that.
I understand.
She's very...
It's that, but you called me a
I
fucking
need to stay
nigger.
here. My
It's
mother
above me.
died.
It's above me.
Mood all
Best Western's next door. Now, I'm with homie. I don't care if your mama died.
No.
I don't care. I mean, right? My mama died. So no, but you
should have thought about that before
You
you
called
made
me.
the comment.
Right.
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 Right. I ain't got no problem. But no white tears.
Not up to me. Sorry.
No white tears. In fact, Q Scarface is no tears. That's how I felt. I'm
I
sorry.
thought you were about to play it.
No, I'm just.
I
I ain't trying to hear their tears. I don't want to hear these whiny white folks.
Yeah.
But for me, it was also a security issue because we don't know exactly how she said that on the phone or whatever, but then she said all of her family was in the hotel. So you're going to call me that? Plus you have people who are like you in this hotel that I have to be the front desk person for?
And see-
this is your mentality towards me?
But also, you
No.
calling me there, Jason, and I'm the one who's going to rent you the room.
Right. It didn't make any kind of sense why somebody would do that. And the other thing that kind of frustrated me was, I guess the daughter came over a little aggressive.
Trying to
like, sir.
Yeah.
And it's like, sorry. And I loved it.
Didn't even apologize
above
on
me.
behalf of the mother.
Well, we-
No, they
like
didn't,
she
but-
went straight into, wait, she said this because my grandmother just died.
Well,
like, that's not an excuse.
We know why she said it. She said it because that's what she felt. That's
I mean, well, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, that's what
question
she
about
meant.
it. It's
But
above
no
me.
hotels, no tow
It's
hotels.
above me now. The Best
above me
Western's
now.
next
You and all
door.
of your family can
You know
go to
what?
the Best
You know what?
Western.
Before we go, I'm going to play it again.
I've had a horrible.
It is.
And that, but you called me a
I
fucking
need to
nigger.
stay here. My mother died.
I understand that, but you called me a fucking
sorry.
nigger.
I'm
No,
sorry.
you weren't sorry when you said it on the phone.
Listen, there was
No,
people screaming
but
at home.
at the end of the day,
I
and
need
the
a
climate that we live in today's
I said
society,
I was sorry.
I understand that, but it's above me now.
I need a room tonight.
Well, there's the Best Western next door.
No, please, let me hear. My daughter's here.
I'm sorry, but I mean, I was on the phone when you said it.
I said I'm sorry. Please, I've had a horrible day
And I had a
today.
horrible time when hearing that.
He won't let me in.
It's above me. She called me a fucking nigger.
Sir, my grandma just
I
died.
understand that, but it's above me.
Please let me.
It's above me. Sorry.
I got my
The
credit
Best
card.
Western is next door.
Sir, the rest of our family
I
is
understand
here.
that, but it's above me.
Please. I
She
apologize.
said what she said.
I understand that.
I understand.
She's very...
It's above me. It's above me now. Sorry. And I love how you sound like Reverend Fred Price.
Yeah, very calm.
I understand that. But no, you can't say. There's a Best Western next door. I was literally hearing Reverend Fred Price the whole time homeboy was talking. Look, white people, I'm trying to help y'all out. These are different Negroes. We're different. Today's totally different because we're not Negroes. Because we're not going to sit here and take BS. So y'all can keep acting a fool. And you lucky, baby, it was audio. Oh, my God, you're lucky it was audio. You are so lucky it wasn't video. And so next time you decide to call somebody black the N-word, you might want to keep in mind we might deny you getting a hotel. Because you know what? It's above us now. It's above us now. All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. Hey, guys, they're back. MarijuanaStock.org has another great investment opportunity. If you were lucky enough to invest in their last crowdfunding campaign, you know they raised a lot of money in just a few months investing in legal marijuana farms. And those initial investors now own shares of a publicly traded company. And they're certainly making things happen. Now, last time, again, many of you missed out, but now you can connect this time. They have a new investment opportunity that is as good, if not even better, than the last one. I'm talking about industrial hemp CBD. For those who don't know, the hemp plant is the cousin to marijuana with a much higher concentration of CBD, which means hemp CBD gives you all of the medical benefits of marijuana without getting you high. Now, until recently, hemp farming was practically illegal in the United States and heavily regulated by the DEA. However, the 2018 Farm Bill changed all of that, making it legal to grow hemp CBD in the U.S. and creating one of the largest commodities worldwide. They need land to grow all of the plants, which makes for an incredible investment opportunity, and that's where our good friends at 420 Real Estate come in. Their business model is simple. They buy land that supports hemp CBD grow operations and lease it to licensed, high-paying tenants. That's right, they are hemp CBD landlords, and you can get in on the action. You can invest in this crowdfunding campaign for as little as $200 up to $10,000. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. To invest, go to marijuanastock.org. That's marijuanastock.org to get in the game and do it now. Let's talk about North Carolina, where civil rights leader Reverend William Barber was convicted on Thursday. Forget this, trespassing, stemming from his 2017 protest at the North Carolina General Assembly. Now, the crazy thing is they had barred Reverend Barber from protesting. They were there protesting health care. And the Republicans in that state barred him and others. It was him, I think about 46 others, who had gotten arrested saying, oh, they're trespassing if they come back. Well, they actually believe in the First Amendment, and so they came back to protest, and then they had them arrested. Then he was convicted. The judge pretty much was like, why in the hell are we doing this? And so gave him 24 hours of community service, which he kind of does every day, and gave him that as well, suspended this 12 months of unsupervised probation as well. But here's what Reverend Barber had to say after the conviction.
I want to say this is much bigger than me. This is literally about opening up Southern legislatures to the light of day and to the people's voice and to the people's protest. I'm deeply concerned that the jury was boxed in. They did not get a chance to really hear about our Constitution, which is a strange consideration to me, that the Constitution that governs the legislature. We know that the legislature we have now is an unconstitutionally constituted body. We know that while this was going on and wasted tax dollars, 500,000 people still don't have health care. People are dying. People that are living with diseases that they could be treated for. But more importantly is we're going to appeal.
Took jurors 22 minutes to find Barber guilty after 4 days of testimony that included video footage of his call and response chant protesting health care spending outside of the office of Senator Phil Berger. First of all, Republicans in North Carolina, I keep telling people, are just stuck on stupid Niambi. And but again, what they're angry about, they're angry about Moral Mondays. They're angry about how they were able to mobilize and organize people to have constant pressure against them. And they want to use the law to shut down protesters. And as Dr. Barber's lawyer said, he's like, hey, Dr. King had a criminal record.
Absolutely, and this is what he's been doing for almost a decade now, right? This Moral Monday protest has probably been the biggest thorn in the side of the North Carolina State Legislature. He has not let these people off the hook, not one iota, not about poverty, jobs, environment, healthcare, you name it. But this was just about sending a message. And I think they picked the wrong one this day, because Reverend Barber and those who he is organizing with and who he is rounding up around the state and around this nation are not going to be quieted. I mean, because part of the issue is the state legislature allegedly works for the people of the state of North Carolina and in their best interest. So this is a moment where you have a state law which is in violation of the U.S. Constitution and the rights granted to citizens. And so this should not have occurred. And these people were in no danger. They just were made uncomfortable. They didn't want to have to be accountable to the citizens, and they didn't want to be confronted. That's all this was about. He made too much noise and he disrupted their day. How?
It's hilarious, Cleo, literally to say you're mad that citizens, taxpayers, were there protesting. So therefore, they're trespassing on property they pay for.
Absolutely.
Well, we know how incompetent these people are when it comes to mental health. We know how irrational they are, and we know how focused they are. It didn't matter that the doctor was not breaking any laws, doing anything wrong. They want to silence him, like you mentioned. I mean, he's been powerful, he's been consistent, he's been in their face, he's been articulate, he's been breaking down issues based on fact, and he has a multicultural group of people behind him, so they can't simply call it a black thing, though it's a black man heading it up. He's brought together all kinds of people, so of course they want to silence him, and they thought they did for 2 minutes. Was it 2 minutes, 3 minutes? How long was it?
22 minutes.
22 minutes.
That's how long it took them to convict.
Right.
It amazes me how weak Republicans are. They love calling people snowflakes. No, they're soft.
Yeah, I mean, I think about who gets the right to enact the First Amendment or even the Second Amendment. I mean, and essentially what we're talking about is a lack of transparency. Once again, we see another issue where taxpayers pay the money to put these people in office to do things for them. And so part of what's happening is, first, we need the law to be changed. I think, second, it speaks to the fact that taxpayers should demand this particular type of transparency. And then third, we see the way that race in particular mutes people's ability to fully enact the First Amendment. And it's highly, highly problematic.
You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. I wasn't going to talk about this because I really don't give a damn about a lot of this silly stuff that happens on social media. I don't care about gossip. I don't care about entertainment. But I needed to deal with this, okay? So how many of y'all have seen people talking about this ridiculous image of Beyonce and Jay-Z sitting courtside at the Game 3 the other night, and the wife of one of the Warriors owners leans over and she's talking to Jay-Z, okay? This thing has gotten all crazy. It's blown up. Well, today, Beyonce's publicist had to release a statement condemning the people attacking this woman. The woman got death threats because of this whole deal. Telling the Beehive, yo, shut the hell up and calm down. But this is what bothers me the most about this, okay? Because I really don't give a damn about these stories. I really don't. I think they're stupid. I think people who engage in them are stupid. Yes, I think you're stupid. You're sitting your ass at home. You know nothing about the conversation taking place between Jay-Z, Beyonce, the wife, and the husband. You know nothing. Yet you are sitting at home assuming you know what she's talking to Jay-Z and Beyonce about. The woman says, I was asking them, what do y'all want to drink? Now let me again unpack it. He's the owner. She's the wife. They're guests. They're guests of them. So don't you think that if we're at a game and Rashawn or Dr. Carter or Cleo were sitting next to me, and let's say I was talking to Dr. Carter and Rashawn is sitting right here and it's loud as hell, I'm probably going to lean over to say something. But no, all of these people are losing them. And that's right. Give him the girl, give her the side eye. She talking to your man. This is stupid. This woman is in tears. She has deleted her Instagram account because she's been attacked and getting death threats and people trashing her. And why do I keep saying her? Because I'm not going to say her name. Because her name is not important. Her husband's name is not important. But at some point, I need people to shut the hell up and get on with their own damn lives and stop being so fixated over dumb shit. And that's what this is. This is stupid. Absolutely stupid. In fact, there's been more conversation about the side I lean over than what happened on the other side of the court.
There you go.
When one of the Warriors owners, who's worth $2.4 billion, pushes Kyle Lowry when he fell into the crowd. That owner, suspended by the NBA for a year, can't attend any NBA games, fined $500,000. According to some reports, he's likely going to have to sell his shares in the team. Because he shouldn't have put his hand on a ball player. When you're sitting courtside, you don't put your hands on it. But my problem is that we, as a society, are caught up in bullshit. The people who are, the amount of time, and I know somebody is sitting here saying, well, you're spending time on this. Yes, to tell y'all, shut the hell up. Stop wasting, it's dumb. Death threats?
Roland.
Because she leaned the hell over to talk to Jay-Z. Really? Really? What?
Okay, I knew nothing about this incident at all. Somehow it got past my radar. But are you telling me that people in the so-called Beehive saw a woman talking to Jay-Z and got mad and made some projections on what she might have been saying to Jay-Z and started a viral conversation about from the Beehivers?
Dr. Carter, you want to take this one?
Is that what happened?
In a nutshell, I mean,
Nut is a figure of speech.
I mean, I'm like you. I didn't understand what that people saw in an exchange between grown people at a basketball game.
Grown people.
But these are the Beehivers. That's what I want to make.
These are
well,
extreme
come on
fans.
now. Beehivers are.
And there are people who I know.
Oh, goodness.
People who are smart, educated, who got their ass caught up in this stupid ass story as well.
I'm a fan, but that's that woman's husband. Let her worry about that conversation. Like, what does this have to do with me?
But here's the deal. Here's what gets me. Didn't the same Beyonce do a song talking about Becky with the good hair? And didn't he turn around and do a song talking about him being with Becky with the good hair?
Really?
And y'all caught up?
Look,
and trying to figure out what was being said on the sideline by four rich people.
I was saying, these people are still married, so whatever problems they've had, they've monetized those and worked it out, and he's a billionaire, and she's wearing $10,000 worth of clothes.
See, again,
I can't be bothered by what's happening in their life.
People are irrational about their irrational.
I mean, I think that's what's key. Like there are two things that popped out to me. First, that we paid more attention to this particular situation than we did what happened to Kyle Lowry.
Let me be real clear. I'm going to show you. First of all, this is, y'all, this the photo. This is from the NBC News website. Y'all, this the photo. I think it might be another one. This is what, now we probably going to get flagged. If we get flagged by this, but I'm playing this from Twitter. Y'all, this the conversation. They were like, oh, she was all leaning in her space. Why she leaning in her space talking to Jay-Z? Look at the side eye she gave her. Y'all, that looks changed. That's what caused these people to lose their damn mind.
Beyonce looks like that all the time. I mean, like, it wasn't, I mean, that particular reaction is interesting to me. I think it speaks to relationship trust issues that people have.
But it's stupid people. Yeah. It's stupid people who, but see, this is the thing, because I'm taking the thing even larger. Because what happens is something happens, and it's the image, oh, look how he looked at her. You have no idea what was going through that person's mind, when that happened. There's no audio, nothing. But for people to go on this woman's Instagram page and literally dog her, trash her, cuss her out to the point where she had to delete the account. One person talked to her, said the woman was in tears because this thing has gone all over the place. And what I'm just trying to say is I just need people to grow the hell up. And see, the reason I'm saying how we value what's important right now on our YouTube channel, 388 watching. So let me go over here to the Facebook channel. Because I'm about to make a point right here. It's 181 on the Facebook page right now. And then I'm going to go over to the Periscope channel feed right now. And we got 100 and 102. But I got about 60 there. I guarantee you that if I put in the line, we are discussing Beyonce sideline gate, numbers would have exploded. Absolutely. Because people care about stupid stuff. And this is stupid. And I need people to learn to stop getting sucked into stupid stuff. That's why, just so y'all know, okay? Y'all ain't never seen on this show me talking about so-and-so just broke up. Because I don't give a damn who you dating. So-and-so just got engaged. Okay, great. I don't care.
But are you in the Beehive?
I ain't talking about the Beehive. I'm broadening this thing. I'm broadening this thing.
Beehive people are obsessed, and they don't want her garment to be soiled.
It's the same as the Mariah. I just said about Mariah Carey one night. All her folks lost their mind. I was like, oh, y'all can go to hell too. I told them on Twitter. And look, here's the I'm telling you. I don't care if you gay and you come out. That's your business. If you have a baby, that's your business. Wasting valuable time on petty, insignificant, personal stuff. If you want to watch E! News, you want to watch the rest of those shows for it, go right ahead. But literally, the amount of stuff that exists, I can't even put all the stuff in a show that I want to put in a show because of the amount of time. Right. And I'm just saying, if you a mama or uncle or aunt or you a daddy or if you got a family member who call me that, you say, your ass stupid for wasting all this damn time on that. And somebody got to go ahead. Somebody got to just say it.
Right. And also the time that they spent retweeting and tweeting about the story, they could have supported Samaria Rice.
It's Beyonce.
Right. And they could have filled out a petition that.
Oh, hold up. But even if you ain't want to do all that, just shut the hell up.
Well, that's also free.
I mean, I literally can't imagine going to the Instagram feed of somebody.
Right. Some stranger
and cussing them out.
And I hope you die and all this other nonsense.
Cussing a stranger out who invited them to the game.
Over people you don't know.
Because Beyonce and Jay-Z ain't season ticket holders of the Warriors.
But they
were invited by the two people who was talking to them. Let me let y'all know something right now. Roland got some courtside seats. And I invite Beyonce and Jay-Z. Y'all kiss my ass. I'm going to talk to them. Okay? I'm going to lean the hell over. We going to talk to them. I don't give a damn what none of y'all got to say. But it's childish and petty. Clearly, I'm sorry. I said I was not going to discuss it. But I need to discuss that because sometimes we need to tell our own people, stop doing stupid stuff. And this, to me, is stupid. All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. Hey, folks, they're back. MarijuanaStock.org has another great investment opportunity. If you were lucky enough to invest in their last crowdfunding campaign, you know they raised a lot of money in just a few months investing in legal marijuana farms. Those initial investors now own shares of a publicly traded company. They're on fire. Certainly a lot of you missed it. Now you have an opportunity. Now they have a new investment opportunity that is as good, if not even better, than the last. I'm talking about industrial hemp CBD. For those who don't know, the hemp plant is the cousin to marijuana with a much higher concentration of CBD, which means hemp CBD gives you all the medical benefits of marijuana without getting you high. Now, until recently, hemp farming was practically illegal in the U.S. and heavily regulated by the DEA. However, the 2018 Farm Bill changed all of that. Congress made it legal to grow hemp CBD in the U.S. and creating one of the largest commodities worldwide. They need land to grow all of the plants, and this makes for an incredible investment opportunity. And that's where our good friends at 420 Real Estate come in. Their business model is simple. They buy land that supports hemp CBD grow operations and lease it to licensed, high-paying tenants. That's right, they are hemp CBD landlords. You can get in on the action. You can invest in this crowdfunding campaign for as little as $200 up to $10,000. Like I said, you don't want to miss out. To invest, go to marijuanastock.org. That's marijuanastock.org. Get in the game and do it now.